Moo and a very tired good evening, everybody. Welcome to a supplemental special Pinktron post Omnium 2025. Um, we have Steve Pritchard, Stefan, Craig Martin. Does everybody have drinks of some persuasion? We'll do a quick. What do you drink, Craig? Oh, Craig's like smiling. He finished like hours ago. Craig, what are you drinking?
So I'm drinking a Constable Winchester IPA.
Tasty. Steve, what do you got up there? I saw you had something in your hand.
Yeah, I've got a really geographically confused drink. So I've got a Bibliotech Hazy New England IPA, which is a Swedish beer company, obviously.
French bibliotheques or Swedish.
Yeah.
All right, and we have Steph. What do you got down there?
Have some Sprite.
Right. I have Empress Gin and Tonic. Empress Gin from the Empress, named after the Empress Hotel, I think, in Victoria. It's not like it's from there. In any event, we all did 6 legs of the Omnium. I don't know if I can really count as I finished the Omnium because I kind of broke it up a bit. But how do we all feel? Everybody tired? I think Steph and I have the
Oh,
like most like we look like we've been through the ringer look going on.
The legs are feeling pretty good. Decided on a hard chat. Might have done the Omnium not quite right because I was able to run to the shops afterward. But yeah, maybe it's just my mileage that I've been doing the last 2 years. That helped.
yeah. I'm definitely heavily fatigued. But I mean, yeah, I can do stuff. I set a new high heart rate for the last 10 years
That's
on
pretty
the
impressive.
last climb of race 6.
How high is that?
It's one beat higher than I'd seen, but I hadn't seen that in the so it was 189, but I had 188 had been my highest, but I hadn't seen that in a while either. So that's actually the 189 is the highest I've ever seen on a bike.
I had a 174, which I do have some 175s, and so I have some like ones that are wacky that must be just broken heart rate monitors. Like a 224, that didn't happen.
That probably didn't happen.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, emotional. I don't know. It's just hard, isn't it? I think it's not actually that far, I think probably most of our legs feel okay. But it's a lot of tough racing in a short distance. Like it's 100 Ks. I've only just made my weekly distance goal. So yeah, but it's mentally tiring as much. Yeah, I think that's the battle, isn't it? The as predicted, stages 2, 3 weren't very nice next to each other, and stages 4 and 5 weren't very nice next to each other.
Yep.
Even with Steph, I think we were quite lucky, weren't we, that in the EMEA time zone in the D slot that we're in, they there was a group of people who really got how you needed to race that race, who were very slow to the segments and then raced the segments. That was handy,
Yeah.
but I think that was countered by race 6. We had a lot of people who joined just to do that race, and I think both of us foolishly tried to stay in the lead group, to our detriment, probably on that ride. Um, but yeah, overall good fun, wasn't it? A big thanks to Marioline. Case we forget to say that for organising it all. It's been really good fun.
yeah, definitely. I think so. I guess the one thing I say, I thought the mix of courses was really good. Like everything felt different enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe grade back to back to TT might have been a bit samey a little bit just in Zwift. Like I get like in real life that's very different, but in Zwift it's kind of samey. But um overall like good good mix up, good different stuff. Um
Yeah, we were talking about this because we all raced at the same time. So we were talking about on Discord, weren't we? That for some reason, mentally, I prefer a hill climb to a
Mhm.
TT. Even though, as you say on Zwift, I don't think it's a different discipline. You sit and do watts. I think because of the gradient changes and having trainer difficulty on, you're kind of changing gears and maybe getting out of the saddle, which probably breaks it up a bit. But essentially, you're spinning tempo, spinning threshold at a cadence. It's the same thing. But yeah.
Yeah, mentally doing like a 20 minutes hill climb versus a 20-minute TT is totally different for me. For even the grades, you can stick to a certain wattage, which seems a bit more easy to me than a rolly TT. But yeah, didn't help that I had two trainer disconnects on the grades.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So
not
I
gonna make
lost 5 minutes of it.
that's not gonna make anyone's stage very fun. That's for sure.
No, it's not. Yeah, and I think Steve, I think it was you and I talking about it yesterday. Typically, I prefer a TT to a climb, and again, there's no, especially on Zwift, there's no real reason for it. I just tend to. I think it's because I like going fast, but yeah, I mean that didn't play out this weekend because I was the most fatigued for the two TTs compared to anything else.
I didn't find the recover, like, I don't know, I guess like I came in 22nd in the A group that I was in both race 3 and race 4. So I didn't find going from the sprint to the 4K one, like obviously you're fatigued, but not like, I don't know, it's a little different muscles, right? Like sprinting is sprinting and going 350 watts for 10 minutes is different stuff. But
I was just dead. I was absolutely now. As it turns out, I think I won that by a lot of points. I probably went harder than I had to in the sprint race.
Well, maybe the other difference is, of course, I got dropped on the third sprint segment. So the second time up the Clyde kicker, I got dropped. So then it was like I was in full coast to the climb mode. And then even at one point,
coast and go, coast and go.
Well, at one point, even on lap 4, like there were 2.5 minutes and John was on the side of the road. He's like, just stop. Let's just go. And they come through us. And we just stopped and waited and go with the other guys on lap 5. And we were on lap 4.
Yeah.
So interestingly, so Lee, who won it in our category, took himself out of the group. So he finished, to give you an idea, Steph, who finished third, finished over 4 minutes ahead of Lee, who didn't really ride in a group. I think he picked up one other person who he was going around and using a bit to draft. But Lee then smashed each sprint and smashed the climb and has managed to finish second in that ride. Which is pretty impressive, really. The winner was in the same group as Steph, so the sort of first and third were in that quite sort of friendly group that Steph managed to stick in, who were doing the sprints. But Lee's done kind of he was going very slowly, like less than a watt per kilo around the course, and then absolutely smashing the 2 segments. So that, really impressive way of riding it.
Yeah, it was interesting because I streamed it after watching the race. Even after, I think it wasn't a fast start, but I think a couple of the group, even excluding Lee, a couple of the Omnium guys were directly off of that group. They formed their own group. You and me sprinted on that first Clyde kicker. I sticked with the front group, which was a mistake because outside of one guy, nobody went for it. So I bailed after the second time of the Clyde kicker, but I should have stopped because I was just in front of that little group on the sprint, so I didn't have the draft. But after that, we were with, I think, 4 guys, including me, 2 Herd guys, and 1 ATP guy, and that was a lot of fun. Just the 4 of us going for each of the sprints neck, and it was always neck and neck. Sometimes that guy, that rider won, some that rider won. It was fun. But yeah.
How are your categories, folks? I think it was really nice. There's a few people from the herd that I've never raced
Yeah,
against, I don't think, who are doing it, who got the format, which just made it more fun. We've said a lot on the podcast about how people knowing the format makes the races better. How are you? How are like Brent? You did a couple of different categories, and we
I
have
did
your
all
coach
A. I did
in the
all A.
background as well.
Yeah, I got a little friend back here. I did A in APAC and A in EMEA, or sorry, Americas. And I mean, I think they were right for APAC, just only 2 people finished every 6 races. Like we had 4 on all 3 on day 1, and then only Terry Rigby and the Dinos. I can't remember what Sam Dinos from the herd. I can't remember his last
Sam,
name.
yeah, he's on our Waffle
Griffin's team.
Warriors ladder team too.
Okay, yeah. I beat him by less than a second on the time trial. And it was like I was
Yeah.
watching his like thing. He was 15 seconds in front of me or 30 seconds maybe out of the pen. And I was watching like the gap, and it was like all I could do to try and hold that gap the whole race.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely a good rabbit for me. So like I guess you can say it was the right one. Just we need to find more bodies in those time zones. We had 40 plus, and I don't know how many people were doing every one in the Americas, but like 20 to 30 for sure.
Yeah, and it looked
So-
like there was a lot of guys from that are HWR regulars.
Yep. Yeah, and like big guns and stuff. So I don't, I think it was probably the right at the top category. I mean, that one maybe could have been shrunk in the bigger, like that one maybe could have been cut off at 700 plus or something for some of the rest of us, but whatever. Like there was guys that I always race against
Yeah.
in there.
yeah, that's the EU prime time slots. You can even I think somebody shared the like when ladder racing happened, and you could see because EMEA is so big, you could see that spike around what is it 18 19 UTC, that kind of time. Yeah, it's
So, any
But
funny
yeah.
stories from the weekend then? Anything we want to share?
I am just
I'll-
gonna send a shout out to Dan Stephenson, who races with me in Mustangs, because he held the front group, and he was feeling so good about his sprints, only to realize as I'm going through the scores that I beat him by 1 point, realizing that it was the time through the segments, not your position. So that was too bad. And then I beat him in the second race, the 4K TT, by not very much. Like it was really close. 6 seconds or less. So he did every 6 race. He'll have quite a good result overall, but it's just kind of funny because I did cost him a couple points there because I finished in front of him. Oh no, I guess I won't because I didn't race everyone, but it's still fun.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
really
kinda
missed those mass start TTs. That was really fun.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people behind me and in front of me that kind of were both providing motivation and possibly someone to count didn't have any kick at the end of the 4K.
Yeah, but I think it could be interesting if you were, for instance, close to anybody of your category, from the names you recognize from the Omnium. To could be interesting because I think I saw when Sean had his video, he won that TT. You could have seen he sprinted because I think it was close to somebody else in his band. So yeah, it's kind of fun.
I'm being sledged by swiftracing.app at the moment, which has twice refused to downgrade me even further because it thinks I'm going too slow. What's the code? It's kind of given me that I'm going to refuse to downgrade you
Is
because
it like a
which
sandbagging
ironically
code,
was on
basically?
both. Sorry?
It's like a sandbagging code, basically.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, which ironically was on both of the time trials, and certainly the first time trial that I tried that harder than the grade, and it gave me it's the min effort not reached. Min effort was reached. My legs would min effort would have been just stopping and getting off the bike. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
minimum effort is
so
not doing the Omnium for sure.
said it should have done that for me with a grade for losing 5 minutes to a trainer disconnects. But I think since I did the rest of it, that's quite good enough pace. And it kept yo-yoing me around. It dropped just below to bronze after race 3. Then I gained back some points, get to silver in race 4, stayed the same in race 5, and then race 6 it plummeted back to the basically the same score was after race 6, so back to bronze.
It's funny.
I gotta say, I am extremely impressed with Andreas P in the last race. So Andreas, he went with somebody who was time trialing the flats, who was fresh, not having done the Omnium, and I bridged up to them. We bridged up to them twice. So the second time, like I stayed with them for a while, but I just couldn't stay. And yeah, it was. And then he beat them all on the climb. He won it outright. I was like, that it just incredible.
Oh, that's a win.
Yeah. Oh, that absolutely. I salute that win. That is
Hardcore Swift racing. Yeah.
that is yeah. You are fatigued. I don't care. Whether you were metering your effort through the previous 5 races or not. That just doing them.
Yeah. Like Steve said, we could really feel it after going through Ocean Boulevard. We were thinking, "Oh, please have a start," and it wasn't. I don't think it was that fast. It was just, yeah,
It was a normal
hanging
Swift
on
race.
for
I think that was the
hanging on
challenge,
for dear
wasn't it?
life, and then at a certain point, like you said, by on that climb, I just tried to stick with it, and I got gap of 2 seconds, and then the accordion broke, and it was all over.
Yes. So, and I think I posted on on Marjolaine's results for EMEA. Paul Himes, I thought I had him dropped at least 3 times, and he came back. And it was big effort. Now, I mean, it was taking advantage of other people in the race where there were only I think 4 of us that made it to the end of the in the third group there. But yeah, it was just impressive that he kept coming back. And then I didn't drop him until that final pitch. And he said he just didn't have anything left. I'm like, I didn't think I did.
There were points today where I couldn't get out of zone 2. So, well, unless I went slower and got into zone 1. That was the only way. And the same with the time trial yesterday. But anyway, I just wanted to say a couple of quick Pink Tron congratulations. I think both Brent, Sean and John won their categories, I believe.
No, not me.
Not Brent. I think Sean won his category and
Sean
John
got second.
Ah, fantastic. So
Sean got second behind you and Simpson from the Herd.
So congrats to those guys. And I think, again, just a big thanks to Mario-Line for organising it already.
Yeah. Doug McKee, who's a prior Herd cast member, he got first in the B in APAC.
Yeah.
Nice.
And John Keenan won his. And Terry Rigby from the Herd got first in the APAC A's.
Yeah, and congrats to all the people across the three zones that did all 6 races.
Yep. It was good. I'm glad. Thanks to everyone. Like you thanked all the Herd riders. Thanks to all the riders from the other zone, like the other ATP had a big showing. Definitely saw some OTRs out there. Rhinos.
Hydro had a couple of guys, I think.
So if you're a Herd rider, get out there and support some of these other clubs or races too. Get a few other Herd riders together, go have fun. Dave Roberts won the EMEA Bs, so I think he's been on Pink Tron before. And there's like lots of Herd racers in that EMEA Bs. There's Andreas P to Craig got second by 6 points. Full credit to him. Lee Deckens in the D's. Gaz Raven in the E band from the herd in the EMEAs. So yeah, I don't know if the Americas ones will be finalized quite yet.
They're definitely
No.
not. I need to do a manual entry for a replacement result, and then Mergelin will do the results in the morning.
Cool. Well, that was good fun. We'll say thanks to everyone who raced. Thanks to Maryline for organizing. Thanks to Craig, Steph, and Steve for popping in here for a quick postscript. Moo, have a nice piece of cake, and good night.